I think this is the reason why this has got so much coverage. It was the manner in which it happened.
Yeah, and the fact that he told you in the press conference on Friday that what his plans were. He told you what is it that he was going to bring to Major League Soccer, and then he goes on and does what he did. We've gone back and talked about the importance of and landmark moments in Major League Soccer. You go back to when David Beckham made his debut and all the attention that brought. But to me, this brings it to a whole entirely different level because it's not so much about David Beckham and his brand. It's about something that you can actually see on the field. Mm-hmm. See, if you're just a casual fan or somebody who's not familiar with the game and you've heard the name of David Beckham, you go and watch him, and you don't really understand what is it that he's doing very well on the field. You see what Zlatan did, and you have a real clear understanding that this is different. This is special. This is an entirely different level. And for him to do it following the storyline that he had already mentioned that would happen on Friday, then made it all the more magical.
Well, special, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising. This is a guy who's been one of the greatest players of his generation. He's going to be 37 in October. And in some ways, this is the perfect time for him. And maybe for MLS, I don't know. But at this level, with his commercial viability, with his skill set, with his physicality, with all that he brings to the game, it's absolutely perfect. He gets to live in California. He gets to live here in the States. He doesn't have the pressure of playing in a Premier League or La Liga or somewhere like that, or Serie A. But he's got enough pressure that he has to perform. It's going to be great for his teammates to learn. And if you can't learn from Ibrahimovic, as long as the LA Galaxy have got players that can run about for him, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but he's going to need people around him that can get around the pitch, then you're going to see a good side to Ibrahimovic because he's, trying to get the ball off him at the best of times is very, very difficult. So I think it's a great marriage. They're not paying him, I understand, fortunes, like they're paying some of the guys who, by the way, shouldn't be getting that type of money, $6 and $7 million or whatever it is. So it's a win-win all round. It is, and clearly, and this is the most important thing, the player is up for it.
And that's a big thing, isn't it? You look at Steven Gerrard, for example, who came over. There was something about him where he just didn't seem to almost want to be there, and he didn't deliver these sort of moments.
I think it's an unfair comparison because, as Craig mentioned, Zlatan has been spoken about as one of the best players of this generation. He has lived in that level of the atmosphere that only the Ronaldos and the Messis, Zlatan just under that. I don't think that Steven Gerrard was ever as close to the Ronaldos and Messis that Zlatan has been. Similarly, nor do I think David Beckham, as a talent, as an on-the-pitch talent, kind of inhabited that level of the atmosphere. I think David Beckham came into the league at the right time for him and for the league. And it speaks to a maturing MLS that it can not only attract Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but the fans who come to the stadiums better appreciate his talents as opposed to the kind of glitz that David Beckham brought with him.
Steven Gerrard was a box-to-box midfielder, amongst other things. I mean, he could ping the ball all over the place. He could play balls around the corner, go and join in, score goals. He lost that. He just lost that, and that's natural for a midfielder. Ibrahimovic's game has always been different. It's not always been about pace, and certainly isn't now. Gerrard could have walked into any team in the world at one point. Real Madrid wanted him. Barcelona wanted him. Man United wanted him. It's just different circumstances. Gets to that age, can't quite do it anymore, and his game wilted. Ibrahimovic, different player, doesn't need to run about as much. Very strong on the ball, can bring others into play, and I think we're going to see that.
And can I just say that outside of what he does on the field, which is clearly important, as we saw this weekend, he brings a personality that is sorely lacking at times in Major League Soccer. He brings, okay, look, I want the attention, I want to be the guy, and oh, by the way, not only do I want to be the guy, you want me to be the guy, and I'm going to answer for you on the field. And that puts players in MLS in a different category, where now you have to perform at a different level. And so Beckham provided a stage from which MLS could showcase its product. That stage became bigger with the presence of David Beckham. Zlatan Ibrahimovic continues to build upon that stage, where now MLS teams and MLS players, okay, we have Zlatan. But now, in order for those fans that came to watch Zlatan, in order for them to come back, it's not only about Zlatan, it's about the product that you put on the field. And that stage has become a lot bigger because Zlatan is here.
If you're watching for these guys that play here, whether they're American or whatever country or region they're from, if you wonder what it takes to really get to the top, then, and you don't have to love Zlatan. He's egotistical, he's super confident, but he's super talented. And if you look at, and you saw when he took his shirt off, he's still in pretty good shape. Very good
not
shape.
Craig Burley shape, but...
No.
Well, not quite Steve Nichols shape, but he's got a few abs. Is that his skill level, his skill set, his physicality, his ability, his mindset? All those are an eye-opener, I think, for players. If you really want to get to the top, that's the kind of standard that you have to try and adhere to now. 99.9% are not going to get to his standard, but I think it is good to look at him and say, wow, that really is somebody who's been at the top of the game for 15 years or so.